What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Titus, and I really appreciate y'all joining me today. Excuse me. I just want to give a quick shout out. Man, I'm really blown away with the way some of y'all have been engaging with the channel. Getting so many new subscribers. You know, one of my videos just broke 100 views, and I'll be honest, I never even thought I'd see the day. And I understand that a lot of that is just people kind of checking in to see what the vibe is. You know, with the new game, people are constantly searching on YouTube for stuff. But for those of y'all who have joined me and, you know, been leaving comments and subscribing and just watching the videos, I just want to say I appreciate every single one of y'all. Y'all are great. So in today's video, we're just kind of going over the newest day of the account. So this will get uploaded probably on Monday, because I wanted to have a video for Monday. I figured Sunday would be a good day to take off, but I know that Monday I'm going to be super busy with a lot of life stuff. And so I figured I'd record today and I'll upload it on Monday. So when you guys see this, it'll be about a day behind. So moving on from there, for the event, we finally pulled our water sphere sage, and now we've got our arena team. And this is kind of the rough first draft of the arena team and what we're looking like. Let's go ahead and change the rivals, and we'll just get into it. So we got water sphere sage. He's our nuker right now and our speed lead. We've got the water tank. He's our fastest person, or our fastest champ, mon, whatever. And we're bringing him mostly for this action bar increase and the critical strike up, because, and I'm not too worried about showing you guys the builds. If you want to, you know, min-max your builds to beat mine, that's fine. We built out our sphere sage, and what we did was we tried to put as much attack as we could right now and as much crit damage. And as you can see here, we only are running 70% crit. The reason we're doing that is because not only does the turtle tank, increase our action bar by 50%, but he's also giving us that crit up, which I believe, unless something changed or I just completely misread, the crit up ability is, where is it? Critical rate by 30%. So we built water sphere sage with 70% crit. That way, whenever water turtle goes, he's going to give that crit up. That's going to crit cap sphere sage. And now we've got the attack plus the crit damage. So this is basically as hard as we're hoping to be able to nuke. Now, I don't have any 6 stars fully booked out, so I don't actually know how this ability scales. I will say I've been a little disappointed by the amount of damage he puts out, but it's also because coming from raid and arena, a lot of it outside of like the high end of, well, there are certain teams that are built around, you know, pillow forting, kind of being tanky and then just kind of drawing it out. But I would say like 95% of raid arena is just go fast and nuke your opponent on the first turn, right? That's why we brought Puppet Artist, because his passive, whenever he hits an enemy, he's putting a 1-turn defense down. But the nice part is he's also placing a freeze. Now, the thing about freeze, and I keep going back and forth and I apologize for that, is if we find him, no, we're going to find the debuffs. If you find freeze, they miss a certain number of turns, but they break, the freeze breaks if they take a hit from a crit. Now this sounds bad, but the damage from non-crit hits are reduced by 30%, while damage from critical hits are increased by 30%. And so basically we're stacking the crit, we're stacking the potential freeze, and essentially we're trying to stack as much of this as possible so that when Water Sphere Sage finally goes, then he can just nuke the entire enemy team. Then we have Music Queen. She is the absolute GOAT. She's putting a 2-turn Silence and Oblivion, which is turning off all of the enemy's active skills and passive skills. And the passive skills is a huge one, especially in mirror matchups where we face other water sphere sages because his passive won't trigger, which means we don't have to deal with that annoying ball form. There's also a lot of other passives that are really nice to negate. Thinking of people like Fire Twin Blade comes to mind, the Fire Nin Rat being able to dodge a bunch of stuff, just kind of stuff like that. A lot of the I don't remember which Mr. Barbarian variant it is, but there is one of them where, you know, he takes a lot of turns basically. And then there's the bears, specifically the fire and the tree variant, I believe, are the two popular ones I really see. And being able to turn off their passives, absolutely goated. Absolutely goated. So not only that, but she's also bringing on her A2 Asleep, where she's removing all buffs. And then the attack down on the A1 when we finally book it up, 80% chance. So she's the GOAT, because what I've noticed is, and this, like I said, is kind of the first rough draft of the team, and I'm probably maybe going to switch some things around a bit. I know that in terms of raw nuking power, Water Sphere Sage he's not the best. And the teams that I have been losing to are usually teams that they're just so tanky that they stretch the game out. I forget who it was. I faced someone and they had the Dark Giant, and then they had the Water Electromancer, and just the amount of healing and CC that the team had, even though none of their people did a lot of damage up front, they just dragged the game out and they made my life a living hell. And I ended up losing because I just could not get to the point, like the battle of attrition, I was just slowly losing it, right? Other than that, most other teams we have been able to pretty much squeak out a victory or just completely dominate, kind of depending on the enemy team setup. So I just kind of want to show you guys a bit of the way that the team's going to function, like actually get to see it. And I apologize, the emulator I use, which is like the Google Play, it's like a Google Play beta where you can play games that don't have PC launchers. It tends to like lag and stuff, especially when there's a lot of like number animations popping up. As you can see here, we barely won the speed race. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to hit that accelerate. We're going to lock out the enemy team. We are going to hit them with that AoE. And okay, we got some freezes, we got some sleeps, and then we come in with Water Sphere Sage and boom. All right, and as you can see there, we got a couple people pretty low. So we're just, I know, well, she hasn't taken a turn yet. So maybe it would actually be better if we just knock her out first. Okay, we got a stun. That's not great. And the monks, these guys do a lot of damage. So I do have to be careful about that. They're also off affinity for Water Sphere. So again, we got a little bit of that to worry about. They're still locked out, which is fine. The other nice thing is, and we just lost Turtle Tank, so that's a problem. But one nice thing that I noticed, I'll put you to sleep for now, is because Water Tank is going so fast, and yeah, this is kind of what I was talking about. These guys are so tanky and they're healing now. Okay, so yeah, we probably are going to lose this. These specialists, man. These specialists have been a huge problem for me. Okay, so we can try and get the freeze off. But if we don't get a freeze, this guy's going to come in and he's going to absolutely ruin Puppet Master's day. Honestly, don't see how we get out of this. Personally. When she comes back around, she will be able to lock out. So maybe we risk it just in the chance that we can maybe get the freeze, but we have the glancing hits. No, we're not going to risk it right now. Get that attack down, get a lockout. Right, because he's got the immunity, of course. I don't even know. I wasn't even paying attention to that. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think we win this one. That's not too concerning. We're not really worried about that. Let's see if we can put him to sleep. Okay, we removed all of his buffs, put him to sleep. Do we risk the AoE? Sphere Sage is about to go down, I think. So let's try it. Okay, we got the freeze. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and push. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and abandon this one. I don't think we win this. That combination of tree specialist and tree monk are just, that's not it for us. All right, we got a team here that looks like it might be a little bit easier for us. Bookworms are off affinity for us, but usually they're built really, really squishy. And then we just have to worry about the tree Iron Fist. All right, so we pretty convincingly win the speed race. We're gonna go ahead and turn meter fill. We're gonna lock everybody out. Go ahead and just do our classic opener. And now we're going to nuke and hopefully, wow, okay, we didn't do a whole lot. Now I know that water nurse usually is a big pain in the ass. So let's see if we can just get rid of her. Do we want to put somebody to sleep? Who do we want to put to sleep? Maybe we want to put Bookworm to sleep just because his A1 still could hit pretty hard. Yeah, okay, so we got the heal. Buff removal, we're not really worried about that too much. Let's see if we can just finish her off here. Okay, we can. Gets a stun off. All right, we take out those two. Now, another problem I have with Arena, and this is just learning the game really, is I don't actually know what everybody does. And so for instance, if Tree Iron Fist has a full team, like some kind of full team revival, that's really going to, also looks like she has a passive where she just constantly counterattacks, so that's probably annoying. All right, go ahead and we'll turn meter fill. Now, the nice thing about this turn meter fill, like I said, is that because we're locking people out and a lot of times they're not getting any turn meter fill on their A1s, it usually means that with enough speed and enough turn meter fill, we can actually just constantly keep people locked out. And that is one thing that we definitely have going for us. As long as the enemy team's not too, we'll just do that for damage. As long as the enemy team is not too tanky and doesn't have too much self-healing, or CC that just kind of winds up going in the wrong places, right? Like if, Turtle Tank gets knocked out, and I would like to, ideally I would like to build him tanky, but I can't really afford to right now. This is another team looking pretty dangerous, but we don't really... They're going to have a lot of HP. And that's why I'm wondering if maybe, I don't know, because for those of you guys coming from Summoner's War, you're probably used to maybe a different, yeah, see, that just messed up my whole flow. That guy is fast. Some of the speeds that people have been able to pull off in this game so far has been like mind-boggling to me. I just couldn't even fathom because, it's one of those things where, okay, so Hulk over there is not going to, this is a problem. This team is really tanky. We're gonna put you to sleep. God, this team is so tanky, holy crap. Okay, we take you out. Now who do we want to take out next? I don't know what Light Iron Fist does. I know he's a stun and he steals turn meter or lowers turn meter, but as the further that goes, I really kind of want to take out Occult Dancer because if she gets that shield and starts putting those heals on, I'm pretty sure I just lose, honestly. The problem is in a lot of these matchups, people are using a lot of tree mons, which makes sense because even if you just look at it from like a natural account progression, most people are building tree mons for they're building them for things like Boxing Club, which is the first one. And so what you see is that they have a lot of tree stuff. And then, okay, his passive went off. Okay, we get the lockout. Go ahead and get the AoE off. All right, we get a freeze on him, which is good. We're actually going to hold the A2 because now we're just going to try and lock out. We're just going to try and lock her down as best as possible. So we're actually going to save that. We'll also save his A2 in case we can get a, because we have a decent amount of accuracy on Water Sphere Sage. And so also being able to, because basically this team is like a full lockout team, right? The first 2 turns or so, and the reason why I was thinking maybe I might need to shift this is because I also have Light Sorcerer, who also has a silence. So I could theoretically put together a team where you literally, where the enemy team literally never gets to use anything except their A1s, if I cycle it correctly, right? Open up with Light Music Teacher. When those debuffs are falling off, if she hasn't gotten back to her A3, then Light Sorcerer comes in, puts a turn of silence, and then after that, Water Sphere Sage uses his A2 and pushes back everybody's turns, and then we just continuously cycle that way so that it, you know, we could maybe win a battle of attrition. Problem is we wouldn't have it. I don't know who we'd put in as healing. Water Sphere Sage would definitely still be our major damage dealer. Like as you can see here, right, we're already back. We've taken so many turns and we're already back to being able to lock out for 2 turns. Although it looks like, oh no, she just took a turn. That's right. So yeah, even super tanky teams that are really looking to pillow fort, because of how much we can kind of mess with the flow of their game, we are absolutely able to still squeak out those wins. The problem is when we come in with a team like this, and Tree Monk, we have beaten teams with Tree Monk before. What we need to worry about is a lot of healing, shielding, stuff like that, and a lot of things that kind of invalidate the damage that we've done. Because if we get bogged down into a massive war of attrition, we lose every time. We lose every single time. And I guess I'm just not used to people being in arenas and stuff like that being so tanky. Like they are actually so tanky. Also, I don't know if I'm missing something, but is that 30% crit not additive? Because I just noticed here that we didn't break the freeze, but it should have broke when Water Sphere Sage went. So is there something I'm missing here? Because yeah, Music Queens are usually a good target because they're oftentimes just very dangerous. This one actually built pretty tanky. We're going so fast that we're cycling our skills really, really well. And so that's nice for sure. We're going to get a lot of glancing hits. That's fine. All right, we're going to put you to sleep. Okay. Get that defense down. We should be coming back to... Okay. All right. That's a problem. That's a problem for sure. Okay, yeah, that's what I was worried about for sure, is constantly giving up ground with like revivers and stuff like that. Okay, now she absolutely needs to die. He's gonna kill the tank, isn't he? No, he's not. Okay, cool. Okay, so yes, now this is a problem. This is a problem for sure. We're gonna lose that. We're gonna put you to sleep because we don't have the lockout yet. And luckily for us, all we gotta do is get rid of this Iron Fist, and we can keep them locked out. We can keep them locked out. We're decreasing. We got the attack down. We just need to, oh my god, dude, this guy is so tanky. Crap, please. Please, man. I literally cannot, I do not have anything for you if you can get this. All right, we're gonna A2 here because we're gonna hope that we can get this, but we keep landing glancing hits. Oh man. All right, we're gonna put you to sleep. We're gonna put you to sleep. You take another turn. Oh, that monk. No, we need to It would be nice to just finish him off, but we do need that. All right, we lock out. And honestly, if Sphere Sage dies, right, it's not the end of the world. And it's one reason why we really wanted Sphere Sage was because we actually probably save that just in case he actually gets his turn off. When he dies, his passive will bring him back, right, into his core form, and then he'll still continue to deal damage. So we get the lockout again. All right, he's attacking there. That doesn't matter because he's... Man, but now we're just coming down to the fact that can we do damage fast enough? Can we deal damage fast enough to this guy before he essentially kills our whole team, right? These are... Now, do I put him to sleep? But sleep wouldn't really do anything. The problem is that Water Sphere Sage is going to take a turn before he does. So actually, maybe we save it so that we can strip buffs next turn. Yeah. So now we're going to strip. Now we'll strip, put him to sleep. He will wake up. That's fine. I am actually afraid right now. I'm not like trying to drag this out. It's just I am afraid that if her A1 doesn't kill, I don't know. I'm trying not to be too... I'm trying to play it safe. You know what I mean? Trying to play it safe because I want these wins, and like I said, I have no idea what a lot, like, you know, you don't know what you don't know, right? And I haven't really sat down and looked at the bestiary and been like, ah, yes, I know exactly what every single champion does. And even if I look it up, there's a good chance that I'm going to forget like the next day because, you know, when information is not relevant in the moment, who cares, right? But that Tree Iron Fist, grant all other allies 2-turn revive and revive all dead allies. Okay. So this is basically revive on death and a revive. So if allies are alive, they get the revive on death. If they're dead, they just get revive. And then all of them get their HP recovered by 30%. Yeah, that is a nasty, nasty ability. And that's what I've noticed is that it seems like in arena speed, maybe it's just because I'm on a low end of PvP, you know what I mean? I'm not Ruby 3 or whatever. I'm only Gold 1, right? And so maybe it's just me, but it seems like a lot of people are foregoing going super fast just to have really tanky Pillow 40 teams. And like I said, I don't know if it's because Water Sphere Sage isn't a great nuker. I know he's not classified as a nuker, but I mean, I look at, you know, his base attack is really good. I have my Water Sphere Sage has decent IVs. I mean, it's 4% extra attack, so it's nothing crazy, but it's not a negative affinity to his nuking abilities. I realize also that maybe like booking him out would give him some extra damage, but I was kind of expecting him to be able to pop people, and he doesn't really. Now, I could instead go for someone like Tree Bookworm, and I have thought about it. There's a lot of different ways I've thought about building out the arena team, you know what I mean? And I could really use your guys's, you know, some of you, especially if you're in a higher arena, you know, let me know what you think. Cause I'm not super competitive when it comes to the PvP stuff. So I'm not trying to hide my builds or anything like that. And if you are, that's fine. I understand it. Some people take certain things more seriously than others. You know what I mean? There are definitely games where I'm more competitive in, where I wouldn't be showing people. Magic the Gathering is a beautiful one. Like, unless I was at a tournament and I had to show a deck list, I'm not giving people deck lists. Like, you'll see it when you see it. You know what I mean? So, I understand. But if you're willing to give me some advice on the arena, you know, kind of what teams I was looking at were also, funnily enough, like I said, I have Light Sorcerer, and he also has an enemy max HP smack with a silence. So kind of the idea that, you know, with Music Queen, Water Sorcerer, and Light Sorcerer. I have immunity, invincible, and if the match takes me 30 minutes, I can win against certain teams. Just being invincible, immune, locking them out of their entire kit, basically. You know what I mean? So I definitely have a lot of things to play around with, but this is the first iteration that I'm pretty happy with. So that's been it for me, guys. I just wanted to give you a quick video showing you the arena breakdown. Ask for me some advice. How are you guys doing? What rank are you in arena, and what team are you running? That's been all for me now, guys. I really appreciate you joining me. If you like the video, go ahead, give a like, subscribe, comment, all that fancy YouTube stuff. It really means a lot to me, and I really love the way that you guys have been showing out and showing me love lately. So if y'all could keep that up, I'd greatly appreciate that. But until then, I've been Titus. That's all from me, and I'll see you guys next time.